What is up, guys? James here from the Light of Riga YouTube channel, and it is October. I know a lot of you are probably pretty excited. You know, October is the time of year when the veil is thinned, our intuition is strengthened, and you know, the weather changes. People like weather changing, so it feels new, it feels different, but it also feels kind of dark and kind of grim. And that could be because of Halloween, it could be because of Samhain, it just could be because of the weather, like I said. So I don't know why, but October is a very special time, and that's why I wanted to wait until now to open this deck. This thing has been sitting on my counter, on my desk for a couple months almost, and I've just been waiting for October to open it for you guys. I wanted to open it with you guys. It is the Dark Grimoire Tarot. It is printed by Lo Scarabeo. People say Lo Scarabeo, but they're an Italian company, so I imagine it to be Lo Scarabeo. I don't know for sure. I'm not an Italian speaker, but I can pretty much guarantee it's not Lo Scarabeo. It's pretty sure that's not it. It's Lo Scarabeo for today at least, and I'm gonna open it up with you. This is a well, let's read it. It says, it's a deck of 78 cards to communicate with our own dark side. Images that allow us to look into the darkest corners of our souls where we can seek a new light. Oh, you know I'm all over this deck. I firmly believe that the way forward for humanity is to deal with our shadows. And that seems to be the case here. This is a deck that's going to help us to understand our shadows so we can help heal it. At least that's what I hope. That's what I imagine it to be. Oh man, look at this. This thing is well fortified. No scissor can penetrate. I don't know too much about this deck. I have seen some imagery, and that's why I bought it, because of the imagery. I think I read that it's got a lot of Lovecraftian themes. And we'll see about that. I'm not a huge Lovecraft fan. I'm definitely more of a Poe. I'm a Poe person. I don't know. I think Poe just creates such a ambiance, such a mood that's really not replicated by anyone else. So I think that's why he's so popular. That's why he's so famous. And I don't know, maybe there's some Poe elements here. So we're getting into this. Man, this is well fortified, like I said. Come on now. That's all right. It's just plastic that doesn't biodegrade. I don't know why they need plastic on plastic, but here we are. Oh my goodness. There we go. Oh, the smell. I wish I could, I wish there was smell-o-vision. Man, it smells like new cars, guys. First, we're going to start with the LWB, the Little White Book. We'll set these aside for now. And, as is typical of Lo Scarabeo, it's usually printed in 5 or 6 different languages. Let's check if yes, English is first. I don't know, I think Italian should be first, huh? And we're not going to go too much into this. This is just a little white book. History of Tarot, keys to reading, some blurbs about the major arcana. I know that this is not a typical tarot deck as far as Rider-Waite-Smith. That I do know going into this. So maybe I have to read the little white book just to see where they're coming from. Usually when it's a non Rider-Waite-Smith deck, I'll just read it intuitively. But we'll see, you know. We'll see what they say about each card. We got a little advertisement here. We're cordially invited to buy more tarot decks. You don't have to invite me. I'm already there. Look at the back. Oh, that's pretty cool. Is that Lovecraft? It looks like Lovecraft with some zombies in the background. That's kind of cool. I kind of like that. Okay, we got another little thing here. Just a little cover card. All right. And we're into it. We're going to flip through these cards one by one individually, see what they look like, and see if we resonate with them. Yes, it's dark. Yes, it's shadowish. And we're going to start at the Fool. I don't know what is going on in this card. He's being interrogated. He's a mental patient who's being interrogated by some dark figures. Oh my goodness, this deck already. I'm glad I saved it all this time, because this is the time of year to definitely be reading it. The Magician. That's the iconic picture from the box, so nothing new there. This is on the back of the box. The High Priestess. Pretty standard High Priestess. She doesn't have the pillars on either side, but you get the idea. She's looking in her grimoire. Then we got the Empress. Oh, look at, she's being worshipped by the proletariat, by the heathens. I don't know why. She's just so bountiful, I guess. Then we've got the Emperor, number 4. Okay, it looks like a lot of worship going on in these images. And again, I'm not a big Lovecraft fan, and I know that this deck takes a lot of themes from Lovecraft, maybe even scenes from his stories. So I'm a little bit in the dark. Like I said, I'm a Poe person. My favorite Poe is probably the Cask of Amontillado. It's a great story. If you haven't read that, highly recommend it. I don't want to spoil it for you, so I won't tell you what it's about. Pretty traditional lovers. It's dark. You know what? It's been about 150 years. I think I can spoil it. Basically, there's this guy. He's a wine connoisseur. And I might have some of this wrong. I haven't read it in a while. Oh, look at the chariot. And some guy insults him. And he kind of forgets about it. But then one day, he sees this guy drinking at a bar, I guess it is. And justice. Oh, voodoo doll for justice. And he secretly wants to take revenge. So he pretends to be friendly with this guy, and they get to chatting about wine. And the guy who was initially insulted, the hermit, doing his work, says, you know what, I got a cask of Amontillado back at my place. You want to come see? And the drunk guy's like, a cask of Amontillado? You have one of those? Of course I want to come see. So they're best buddies. They're going to his house. And when they get to this house, he takes them down into the cellar. Well, it's not really a cellar. It's more like a dungeon. Okay, it's full of stone bricks and all that. Here we have the strength card. And basically he says, okay, the cask is this way, follow me. And he takes him to this like dark, little tiny dark room. Not even a room, it's just a dark area. And he says, go in there. The hanged man has hanged himself. Oh my goodness. I was not ready for that. Wow. And basically the guy traps him in a little hole in the wall and then brick and mortars it up. He buries him alive, basically. Look at the death card. They're marching into, I guess, Hades. I don't know where they're marching, but it's probably not a good place. And he buries him alive in the wall. And he's so far in the dungeon that no one can hear his screams. And it's the ultimate tale of revenge, although I don't know if the punishment justifies the, oh look, it's Cthulhu. The devil is Cthulhu. I don't know if the punishment was justified to be buried alive for insulting somebody, but, you know, it's Poe, so what can you expect? Ooh, look at the tower. This is dark, my friends. This is a little bit darker than I had even anticipated. We got the stars here. That's pretty traditional, actually. I kind of like it. Ooh, look at the moon card. That feels like a dark, dreary night. Well, a light, dreary night because of the moon. But this guy's being chased by some goblins or something. I don't know. The sun? I don't think the goblins like the sun so much. I don't know if they're goblins, but they're definitely not human. Judgment card. We got some rainbows. The first hint of light in this dark deck. We've got the world card here. That's interesting. I don't know. Again, I'll have to read the little white book. Now we're getting into the cups, which are chalices. And there's a grimoire right there. I believe, correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section, but I believe a grimoire is a large book of spells, of magical spells and magical knowledge. And if it's a dark grimoire, you know, that immediately brings up thoughts of Thoth and maybe some negative things. But, you know, a lot of people might be turned away from this type of deck, you know, and I've used it in readings as well, is the Mortem Oraculum. It's a very dark deck. It was painted with human blood, and, you know, a lot of people turn away from these dark images, and, you know, I don't blame them, but at the same time, I really do think that the way forward in healing is to go into the darkness. So many people think that, oh, I want to heal, I'm just going to focus on the light, and the light's going to be the only thing I think about, the only thing I you know, move towards. And that's good, but that's not balanced. You're just headed towards more darkness if you do that. You need to face the darkness, or else the darkness will come and face you. And I think that's what healing is about facing the darkness and saying, you know what, I want to be a being of the light. I want to move toward the light, but before I can do that, I need to look at the darkness. And I think that's what decks like this and the Mortem Oraculum kind of do. Yes, it's dark. Yes, it's dreary. But that's sometimes what we need. Now, I wouldn't say you should, you know, this should be your only tarot deck, because then that's not balanced, right? a good tarot deck is full of light and dark. You know, each card has its own light side and dark side, and you know that might be true of this deck. I haven't really read with it yet, and you don't really know until you read with it. But just looking at these images, I can see the connection to the Rider-Waite-Smith, but also the connection to some darker things. The court cards look pretty standard here, pretty much what you would expect from the courts. I don't know if these are characters in Lovecraftian themes. Oh, look at that. All of the aces are books. Right? That's like new knowledge, new understanding, new emotion. So we're moving to the Pentacles here, which are Pentacles. We got Chalices and Pentacles so far. This doesn't look very nice. It looks like, I don't know what it looks like. It doesn't look good, though. Oh, this guy's painting a demon. The Three of Pentacles, he's working on his demon portraits. Okay, good for him. This guy, I don't even know, man. The Pentacles are books, it seems like. I guess that represents... I don't know. I don't know what symbol the Pentacles are in this deck here. What is he giving? Bread to the heathens? Alright, so he's sharing. He's sharing... The have-nots are being shared with, which is kind of contrary to the darkness. But look at this guy. He's got some serious demons. They all have demons. I don't know what he's whittling here, but that's nothing nice. Man, this deck is intense. I don't know if I'm going to be able to read for you guys on this channel with this deck unless we really dive into the shadow. But please let me know what you think of this deck and in the comment section. I know it's not a very popular deck for obvious reasons, but at this time of year, I feel as though it'll be good for us. It'll be good for us, hopefully, and it'll be healing. It'll be healing. Look at this monstrosity! Wow. So yeah, I gotta say I'm a little disappointed with the court cards. We have all these fantastical beasts, and we got demons and imps and all sorts of crazy things, but then the court cards are just Rider-Waite-Smith. They're just people just chilling out. So I don't know, the court cards don't really fit the theme, is kind of the feeling I'm getting from here. Ace of Wands now, another grimoire. Okay, Two of Wands. They're discussing their future, perhaps, discussing where to go next. Here we have the Three of Wands. Yeah, and that's one thing I kind of like about Lo Scarabeo, is that they, as much as they can at least, I think they do go away from Rider-Waite-Smith. So it is a challenging company. Well, I mean, they have a lot of Rider-Waite-Smith decks, but you know, the decks that aren't based in Rider-Waite-Smith definitely challenge you, and they challenge you to read intuitively. I don't think they really write enough in their little white book to just go by the book. I think you have to read intuitively. Another one that comes to mind is the Tarot of Pirates. It's the same way. It's the same kind of thing. It's not based on Lovecraft, but it's based on pirates, and it's not Rider-Waite-Smith, so you kind of have to go into the card and just fish for the meanings. You know, with the Rider-Waite-Smith, and I think this is a bad thing, actually. With Rider-Waite-Smith, you kind of go on autopilot mode sometimes, and maybe sometimes you'll just go by the book meaning when your intuition is screaming at you. But it's harder to do that when you don't know the book meanings, because it's a weird deck and the little white book doesn't say too much about it. So that's where we find ourselves with these Lo Scarabeo decks. I'm determined never to say Lo Scarabeo. That's not how you say it. I don't know why everyone says that. They're Italians, man. You gotta have some inflection. You gotta Lo Scarabeo. You gotta use your hands. Lo Scarabeo. You know? Okay. Oh, this lady's on a toilet. Is that a toilet? The Queen of Wands is doing her business. She's all about that action. Okay, so now we're moving to the last suit of swords. So we've got chalices, pentacles, wands, and swords. So the only thing that's really changed is the cups. Look at this guy. I don't know, he's playing for some demon eggs. I don't know what is going on in that image. One thing I don't like, but at the same time it fits the mood, is there's the kind of a lack of color. And you know, I'm a big fan of color. I love color. I love to see color everywhere. But you know, it wouldn't make much sense to have a ton of color in one of these darker decks. So I do feel the ambiance that they're trying to create is very dark. It's very maybe self-reflective. You know, all of these demons are probably representative of our internal demons. And yes, this guy's getting chased by demons, but are they really demons, or are they his own thoughts, his own negative thoughts, his own negative beliefs? That's something we'll have to discover as we work with this deck through this month of October. And hopefully I'll be experienced enough with this deck by the Samhain season to do some readings then. And we'll get into the shadow if we need to. I did exploring the shadow readings recently. What was it? The end of October? End of September, I mean? No, it was mid-September. Yes, it was mid-September. I did the exploring the shadow readings, and people definitely weren't too excited about it for the reasons I just stated. People don't want to explore the shadow. They want to be in the lights. But like I said, I firmly believe that we need the shadow. We need to explore the shadow. The shadow teaches us what we should be moving away from. And if you don't know that, then how can you know where to go? And the last one, the King of Swords, definitely not for kids. Okay, so the last thing we'll do is take a look at this cardstock. It is actually pretty thick, very sturdy. I think a little bit better quality than you usually get from Lovcraftian. Let's see how it shuffles. It does smell nice. It smells like the factory. Oh, it shuffles pretty nicely. All in all, I gotta say, I'm pretty satisfied. What I could do is edge this deck in black. That's something I like to do. I take black ink and I go and I edge the cards. That could be something that could be done with this deck, possibly. I'm definitely not going to trim it. It's already pretty much trimmed. I mean, it's got a little border, but you don't really trim cards with borders that small. And plus, you kind of want to have this wording, although you could leave it on. I mean, you could if you wanted to, but then, I don't know. I don't think it would be worth it for this deck. I think it's fine how it is, and I'm looking forward to getting into it. Let's do a one-card reading. Let's see what this deck has to say. We're going to ask this deck, what do I need to know when working with this deck? We're going to do a one-card reading. What do I need to know when working with this Lovcraftian Dark Grimoire Tarot? Usually I'll do a full deck interview, but we'll just do one card for this video. And we've got the Knave of Wands, which is the page. The feeling I'm getting from this is that this is a difficult journey. Look at this knave is almost like she's going towards Mordor. Or maybe she's coming back from Mordor. It's a very difficult journey. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be challenging. It's going to be testing. But it's something that needs to be done. That's the feeling I'm getting from this deck. This deck is going to be very difficult. It's going to be challenging. And, like I said, we don't like the shadow. We don't like to think about it, because then we have to admit to ourselves that we need healing. We need changing, and no one wants to do that. That's why people don't want to look at their shadow. But this deck is saying, here is your shadow. I'm not going to hide it. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. This is the shadow right here. And I think that's extremely valuable. And I think that's what this deck is here to do. It's here to take you down that dark, difficult, perilous journey. But, at the end of it, Sauron's dead and the ring is destroyed. Okay? Theoretically. But, I don't know. That's the feeling I'm getting from this deck. It's going to be challenging. So, that is it. There you have it. Lovcraftian. Wow. I am surprised. I'm shocked. I'm impressed. I'm all of the above. This has been a crazy deck to experience. Look at this. Crazy colors, darker colors, but they're still pretty crazy. I don't know. I like it. I enjoy it. I can't wait to dive deeper into it. So I hope you guys did enjoy that video. I hope you have some opinion on the Dark Grimoire Tarot. If you do, put those in the comment section. Let me know what you think about it. What you think of the artwork or the messages or whatever you want to say about the Dark Grimoire or the Shadow. I'm all ears. We can have a discussion. So I look forward to your comments. And be sure to like it if you like this video. You don't have to like the deck to like the video. Okay? And do all the YouTube stuff, liking, sharing, subscribing. And head on over to my website if you want a reading with me. I don't think I'll be using the Dark Grimoire Tarot, but if you want a reading with the Dark Grimoire Tarot, you can request it specially, and I'll give it a go if you want. So check that out, lightofraiga.com. The link is in the description box below. Alright guys, that is the Dark Grimoire Tarot. I'm ready to start October, get the feelings going, get the Samhain energy up and maybe talk to some dead people. I think that's what I'll do this month. So, okay, that's going to be it for me. I want to thank you guys for watching. Happy October, happy Samhain, happy Halloween, whatever you want to celebrate. Leave a like if you enjoyed this. Happy taroting. Peace.